A serious warning. FCC Chairman takes issue with Jimmy Kimmel's remarks on Charlie Kirk assassination incident. The Chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, has raised concerns about some remarks made by late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel regarding the individual accused of the assassination of political figure Charlie Kirk. This marks another instance of Brendan Carr, the current FCC chairman, publicly criticizing the content broadcast by mainstream television networks, despite the FCC's own guidelines, which indicate that its power over programming is limited. In his monologue aired on a recent Monday night, Kimmel made a statement that sparked this controversy. Over the weekend, the MAGA crowd reached some disturbing lows, attempting to depict this young man who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything but one of their own, all while trying to gain political advantage from the situation. Following these events, authorities arrested Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old, charging him not only in connection with Kirk's murder, but also with several other offenses. Utah County Attorney Jeffrey Gray disclosed that Robinson's mother noted a shift in her son's political views, mentioning he had become more progressive, championing pro-gay and trans rights. Gray further revealed that upon questioning from his father, Robinson expressed that he believed there was too much evil in the world, citing Kirk as a purveyor of hate. As the news of Robinson's arrest spread, social media erupted with rampant theories regarding his motivations, including the unfounded claim that he had affiliations with the alt-right. However, evidence pointed to his upbringing in a conservative household, which Gray identified as a source of conflict between Robinson and his father. On Benny Johnson's podcast, Chairman Carr criticized Kimmel's comments as one of the most appalling behaviors imaginable. He suggested there were potential recourses available to the FCC, creating an air of ambiguity about whether Kimmel could face repercussions. There are options available to us here. I must tread carefully, as my role might lead to becoming an adjudicator for the claims being raised, he cautioned. Additionally, Carr implied that action could be taken against Kimmel if networks did not voluntarily amend certain behaviors, indicating that the FCC might need to increase its regulatory efforts in the future. Neither ABC nor the Walt Disney Company, which owns the network, has yet provided a response to these remarks. During his podcast appearance, Carr asserted that he possessed authority over broadcast content due to the public interest standards that govern broadcasters. He expressed a desire to revitalize the concept of public interest. He elaborated on the notion that broadcasters have unique responsibilities because they operate under licenses granted by the FCC, which mandates that they serve public interests. Not everyone agrees with Carr's interpretation of the FCC's authority. Ana Gomez, the sole Democrat on the commission, voiced her opposition on social media platform X, arguing, "A reprehensible act of political violence by a disturbed individual should never be used as a basis for wider censorship and control. This administration seems to be using government power to suppress lawful expression, not because the expression promotes violence or breaks the law, but because it contradicts those in power or presents conflicting views. We must strongly oppose any attempts to silence dissent, punish satirists, or undermine individual freedoms." According to the Communications Act, the FCC explicitly states that no legislation should be interpreted as granting it the power of censorship over broadcast communications. Instead, it advocates for the free expression of diverse views, encouraging counterspeech as a means to ensure a plurality of opinions, even if some perspectives may be offensive. While the FCC maintains certain restrictions on broadcasters, such as those related to indecency and the accuracy of news reporting, significant inquiries are typically initiated only after receiving formal complaints. For instance, the Center for American Rights has been notably active in filing complaints concerning perceived biases in television broadcasts, including on late-night programs. Chairman Carr has ongoing investigations, notably one involving CBS News that pertains to an edited interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. It's interesting to note that Skydance had to seek FCC approval for its merger with CBS's parent company, Paramount Global, and as part of this process, It agreed to appoint an ombudsman to handle complaints concerning CBS News. Finally, tech policy expert Ari Cohn, who serves as lead counsel for the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, offered a compelling statement. He emphasized, "The FCC lacks the authority to regulate what a late-night host can say. The First Amendment safeguards Americans' rights to discuss current events, even if their views later prove inaccurate. If broadcasters were held liable for errors made by anyone on their networks, it would effectively make the FCC the arbiter of truth, which would result in an undesirable chilling effect on the freedom of speech within broadcasting." But here's where it gets controversial. What do you think? Should the FCC expand its role into content regulation, or does this endanger freedom of expression? Share your thoughts in the comments below.